Hi there, this is Mr. Boniashchuk from Clifton School. I'm going to give you a very quick narrated slideshow to try and keep you up to speed with what's happening with our iPad project. Obviously I went into a lot more detail at the evening. I'm trying to keep this video small and short, so I am going to move quickly. We've kind of decided on the term e-learning as what we're calling our project here. The iPad project is the electronic learning program, and there's a lot more than iPads to it, but iPads are the new thing, so that's really what we wanted to talk about. Why have we decided to do this? We don't see ourselves as being way out there on this. Some people have said, oh, this is such a huge change. If you look at the world, if you look at countries overseas, this is the way the world is moving, towards more technology and towards tablets, away from traditional PCs. So we feel we are in line with that shift. We also, if you look at our competitors, even in the state, we see everybody is moving towards more technology in the classroom. We want to prepare your sons for the working world of tomorrow. They're probably not going to be using iPads, they'll be using whatever has come out 10 years from now, but we want them technologically proficient and electronically literate and able to keep up with those changes. And obviously there are wonderful benefits that come with these new technologies, the interactive content that we can generate, the sharing, the ability to network that comes with the information age, and we want to take advantage of the best parts of that for your son. Why have we decided on this device? We're not going multi-platform. Other schools have tried, and it has, for the large part, failed. For us, though, it's a Clifton thing. We think that one device is just uniformity for simplicity. It makes the job of the techs much easier. It makes the job of the teacher in the classroom much easier if there are any problems. You know if the document opens on your iPad, it's very likely to open on every iPad. It's one of the benefits of iPad. They are limited in functionality, but also much more reliable in that sense. Spec for spec, we strongly feel you're still getting the best value for money. Galaxy Tab with the same specs is more expensive. Yes, you get USB, you're paying a heck of a lot more for that. We like what we see in terms of apps for education. The iStore App Store is still ahead of the Google Play Store, particularly with education, and the iBooks Author program, which we are using at the moment, only runs on Apple devices. Well, only legally runs on Apple devices. Why are we not looking at laptops? Very much that boils down to battery life. An iPad has 3 or 4 times the battery life that you're looking at over a laptop. There's also much less potential for abuse. You can restrict the device, we can lock it down. You as a parent can set up things on the iPad to stop your children accessing the internet and other things. We have management software that can do the same thing. And because Apple's products are locked down, it's much easier for us to control them. We also know we're running a Windows network at the school, and this has changed. For us, an iPad on a Windows network is actually easier to manage than a Samsung on a Mac network. So we're seeing iPad and iTunes as being more in line with compatibility, and we're enjoying that. Is it the answer to everything? Is it the great tablet from the mountaintop? No, it is not. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying that we think it is the best tool available to us at the moment. Ladies and gents, we've done a lot already. The geeks speak what's been happening behind the scenes. We've upgraded our internal network. We've made it completely fiber optic with switches, new switches in every building. We've rolled out wireless across the campus, and we're going to double the wireless capacity of the school. We've doubled our internet bandwidth, and we will be doubling it again. We're looking to have a 40 meg line by July of this year, possibly looking to increase that again in the future. We have opened and are now running our own WebDAV server. It's basically our own version of Dropbox. It's still in development stages. It does work. We'll be looking to roll that out in the 3rd term. And we are looking to introduce an app for the school made by Network Support called the My Schoolbook Diary, which should help us with team lists and communications and homework and test dates and everything that you would expect in terms of communication from us in terms of where your son is supposed to be and what he's supposed to be doing. Folks, we are worried about things. We know this is a hugely expensive device. We're concerned about its safety. We know that the internet has awful things on it that we don't want our children finding. We're aware that this market changes so quickly that it's impossible to keep up, and whatever we decide tomorrow, it's going to be out of date. We know that as being a developing nation in South Africa, we don't have the internet they do overseas, and we have to pay for everything in dollars, and every time the exchange rate takes a wobble, it's killing us. We're aware of this, we're aware of the cost. We know, folks, we know we're asking a lot from you. We do think it's worth it. And so we have taken some steps then to try and ameliorate some of those problems. We will have a classroom lock-up policy. Kids are not going to be carrying the iPads around with them at school. They'll be using them, or they will be locked up. We need them, please, to leave it here if they're going to sport in the afternoon. They can collect it as they get back to school if they come on the bus, or they can collect it the next day. If you insist that they take it to the sports field with them, you can do that. We cannot guarantee its safety, but with a letter you will be allowed to do that. We have a firewall at the school that blocks a lot of websites. We manage, we can physically check, we can look at the internet history of any user on our network, and we have various programs that prohibit nasty sites. We can also advise you to install the K9 Safe browser, but there will be a whole nother rollout in a few weeks' time of advice on how to restrict and make your iPad safer for your child. We do want to also stress that there's only so much we can do. The best thing is to teach them responsibility. They're going to grow up in a world with the internet, and they're going to have access to it at some stage on their phone, at their friend's house, in a cafe with wireless or something like that. So teaching responsibility is also important. We must practice good care of such an expensive and easily breakable and stealable device, and the prep school has created chipboard iPads, a block that they'll have to carry around for some time as a practice to make sure that they know how to look after it. Folks, once again, though, we need to teach good care as well. And we'll obviously have a homework amnesty if the device has to be locked up, and while you're at sport and you don't get to do your homework, you're obviously not going to be punished with that. And we'll need to take this as it goes, folks, and see how it works, and then make adjustments depending on how it is working.
I need somebody.
What's next? Okay, we do need your help. We've done a lot already, but the next phase needs to be a family effort within in the Clifton family. Folks, you need to buy an iPad, please. The letter went out the end of last year. It doesn't have to be the latest model. Anything that supports iOS 7. Practically an iPad 2 or newer. 16 gig, more than enough space that you'll need. We would recommend Wi-Fi only. Gives you a lot more control. You can get a 3G. We'd recommend you lock the SIM card and you decide when your child can use it. You don't have to have internet at home. We can load things for you at school. We can make plans for you. That's really not a problem for us. But we would recommend life is going to be easier if you have internet at home. We'd also recommend you add the device to your household insurance as a listed item, which is the best and most effective way to insure it. There's a letter that's gone out which will give you the dates of when to send it. If you've purchased it yet for enrollment at the school, we need to put our safety software on it basically. Don't worry if you haven't bought it yet. We'll have another round of enrollments as we approach the third term. What we'll be asking you to do is set up an email, a Clifton mail that we've created through which we can communicate to your son and install a couple of apps. That's all explained in the letter, and those apps have been budgeted and financed by us for this year. Most of them are free. We must get our children used to charging the device every night. That's going to be a bit of a bugbear for us. It must be part of the deal, not in their room, in some common area of the house. And please, we all need to share ideas on good apps as we find them with each other. Folks, I'm not an expert. Clifton does not know everything. This is a journey we're looking to take together. Folks, we've looked at doing bulk orders for you. It just doesn't work out practically. We're not a sales institution. We're not set up to do sales. And when we've investigated with partners, you need to buy thousands of devices to make a big saving. We're buying hundreds, considering that everybody wants a different model. It's then going into tens. At best, we're offering a 3% saving. You can do better than that in a deal with your bank or at game or when the specials come out when they're pushing out old stock. So we're not going to be facilitating bulk orders. I'm sorry about that. We also can't facilitate other devices. It needs to be an iPad. An iPhone just comes with too many difficulties and problems, and we are not going to bring your own device. Please, folks, we will recommend apps that we're going to use at school, and in a conversation, of course, I'm willing to recommend apps to you, but it's not our job, we feel, to be an app store expert. There are 1.2 million apps. There's a lot of variety within them. We all, please, need to share ideas when we find a good app. Of course, if we find good apps, we'll share them with you, but we're not seeing it as an expectation now to justify the use of the device by saying, oh, well, here's 50 apps that you're going to be able to use. There are millions and millions, and we'd encourage us all to share those ideas, please. Folks, we're desperate for sponsorship. That'll obviously make this cheaper and easier for everybody. If there's anything you can do, we will provide advertising to our absolute best ability. So please help us out if you can. Let me know. Folks, we're not promising perfection. There are going to be issues. There are going to be problems. We are taking this slowly so that we can do the best we can. How will it be used in the classroom? The prep school experts will have a lot more to tell you, but it's about viewing content mainly. It's not an essay writing device. It's about viewing rich, colorful, multimedia content that is also interactive. It allows 3D learning with the camera, the sounds, the touch, text, and all that sort of thing. It's saving the world with the paperless classroom. We can cloud store. Your child can never lose their notes again, because if they do, they can just download them again. It's all part of our general commitment to electronic learning and electronic literacy. We have had an evening last year where the book creator app and what we did was shown to parents, and I'm sure if you were to contact Mrs. Unger, you'd be able to come in and see some of the stuff that we're doing with these devices. The possibilities truly are endless. There is some staggeringly amazing stuff you can do with interactive digital iBooks. It's on the cutting edge of the technology, but we are looking to get there. We're making no apologies about the fact that this is going to be low and slow. We need to move at a pace that we know that we can manage, and we can't have a big failure. Your son's in the developmental stage are too important, and for the money we're asking you to spend, it's too important. So we're going to move slowly, but hopefully well. The tortoise wins the race, and we're going to look to be the tortoise and to win the race. My personal thanks to Mr. Duncan Greaves and Mrs. Gillian Unger for their help and assistance in the prep school. They are your first port of call in the prep if you need any help. Mr. Bonnie, I'm running it from the college side, and I am involved on a technical perspective globally across the project. And then network support, I'm very embarrassed to see incorrectly spelt there, to my dying shame, but it's too late for me now to change that. Network support, obviously with a double P. Our excellent friends, Terry Lewis and his company, and Ian Faree, Spider-Man, here on our campus, giving us wonderful, wonderful backup and help. So thanks very, very much for that. In the evening, we obviously ended with a Q&A. I'm looking to, upon request, set up a blog via which we'll be able to communicate and deal with questions. So it's new to me, folks. Give me a couple of weeks and I will see what I can do. For now, you can email questions to Mrs. Unger. But we are looking up to set up a blog so that we can have sort of continuous communication. From the evening, two issues which we already are taking forward. We will be looking at the lockup policy, particularly over weekends. And if your son has Friday sport, is he only going to get his device back on Monday? If he's finishing late. And we'll also be looking at all the time security on the internet. There are lots of ways we can secure the internet, which we'll be doing from our side on the network, and we'll be giving you some information in terms of what you can do to secure the iPad and create safety on your end. Thanks very, very much, folks. Huge apologies to network support. The accompanying PDF that comes with this presentation will have the correct spelling. We thank Terry and his team for all the work that they do, and we thank Clifton for allowing me and my team the opportunity to take this project forward. Look forward to working with you, parents. Thanks very much for your time.